Okay, so with Montreal nosediving to the bottom of the standings, and with the whole new management team about to be put in place, the fan base is under the impression that this team could blow up right before our very eyes. There's obviously been a lot of trade talk happening, mainly snatching up all the first round picks. But one name that continues to pop up every time amongst Montreal fans is Alexis Lafreniere. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some potential trade offers to make this deal happen. I've done a little bit of detective work. I've went out and asked a whole bunch of Rangers fans what they would want in return for their young lad, so we can get an idea of what their fan base is looking for. But first, before we begin, if you're a fan of the Habs or watching Brad Marchand in considerable pain, then please consider subscribing to my channel, as I upload a ton of hockey content and would really enjoy having some more you grasshoppers tag along for the ride. Now, to start this off, the Rangers, okay? Jeff Gorton, he knows these guys. He ain't no stranger to this organization. Maybe he knows enough about Lafreniere that he doesn't even want to touch this kid with a shtick, let alone make a big trade for him. During my interrogation of the Rangers fans, I have come across some pretty disgruntled people who are ready to toss this guy to the curb already. They've seen enough. He hasn't even hit 100 points yet. Jeez. I even saw a username over there that was called La Failure. Imagine that. However, on the other hand, if Gorton himself does have faith in Lafreniere and thinks a change of scenery could benefit this young kid, then hey, there ain't no better way to win over the Francophone fan base in Montreal than to bring in a guy like Alexis Lafreniere into the mix. I mean, I can already picture it now. They'd make a statue right outside the Bell Center with Jeff Gorton's face on it. He'd be a local hero, Jeff Jong-un. So Lafreniere was drafted number 1 overall by the New York Rangers in 2020. He's 6'2", 196 pounds of Vienna sausages. He plays left wing, and he had quite a few years for himself in the QMJHL. Take a look at these numbers here. His last year for the Rimouski Dooskies, he put up an insane 112 points in 52 games. Not an easy task at all, and this is why there was a lot of hype around him during his draft year. Since being drafted, however, there's been a little bit of a plot twist. It's not that he's had a slow start. Actually, you know what? He's definitely had a slow start. His rookie season, he put up 21 points in 56 games, which isn't really too bad depending on your expectations. But this year, when the hockey world was expecting a little more, he's got just 11 points in 37 games. I think it's fair to say that he's having a little bit of trouble transitioning into the NHL. There's still a high chance of this guy breaking out and becoming a superstar. I mean, after all, there's a lot of young players that go through hiccups. We saw Jack Hughes have a similar start breaking into the NHL. But a guy that I'd like to show as a comparable to the Lafreniere situation is Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau also tore up the stat sheet in the QMJHL. He plays left wing, and in the guy's first few years of NHL action, it took him a little while to fully adjust and become the beast that we know him as today. So I wouldn't throw in the towel on old Laffy Taffy just yet. Lafreniere has actually been a little feisty this year. Look at this. He's even been roughing people up a little bit. We've got Ranger fans so excited in the stands. This guy damn near jumped out of his pants. Look at that. And I'm willing to bet to pry this guy out of New York from the hands of General Manager Chris Drury, you're going to be giving up some pieces that, hey, you don't want to give up. It's a high risk, potential high reward kind of deal. I'm not saying that I'm in favor of doing it, but I've been seeing Montreal fans drool like a St. Bernard over this guy for the past couple of years, so I figured, hey, let's entertain the idea. Moving on, let's take a look at 3 trade scenarios that were suggested to me by New York Rangers fans, and then you guys can let me know down in the comment section whether or not you would pull the trigger on any of these deals. A lot of their actual messages were lengthy, so I'm just going to show you guys the guts of the deals. So, opening up trade suggestion number 1. Compliments of Rangers fans, we got Montreal giving up Ben Sherratt plus Nick Suzuki in exchange for Alexis Lafreniere. Call me crazy, but I'm personally not feeling this one at all. My stomach just rolled over a little bit. Gee, for some reason, I get diarrhea every time somebody talks about trading Nick Suzuki. He's our only top 6 center right now, and it's scary, okay? I'm scared. This is not a trade that I'm cool with. If you would do this one, let me know down below. Trade suggestion number 2, we got a Ranger fan who says that he would trade Alexis Lafreniere to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Ben Chiarot and Montreal's first round draft pick of the 2022 entry draft. And I'm not gonna lie, this one has me thinking a little more. Yes, no, maybe so, you tell me. Really, it all depends on if you guys think Alexis Lafreniere is gonna hit his ceiling or not. Looking back, once upon a time, many Habs fans thought that Jonathan Drouin would be the French superstar when he was traded here by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and now those same fans have changed their minds. Trade suggestion number 3. We got a Ranger fan who claims that he would trade Alexis Lafreniere to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Cole Caulfield and Montreal's 2022 first round draft pick. It's getting personal. They're even targeting our little bundle of joy right now. I don't know. There's so much risk in a trade like this, in my opinion. There's too many ifs. The if factor. Number 1, will Cole Caulfield ever hit his potential? Number 2, will this year's first round draft pick for Montreal be a star? And then, of course, is Lafreniere ever going to hit his ceiling? What a headache. This is exactly why I'm not the general manager, okay? There's too many big decisions. I'm the kind of guy I can barely decide what I'm going to have for supper tonight. Luckily, the wife decides that. So, if you have any crazy, wild, wacky trade scenarios that you would like to share with me down in the comment section, let her rip, because I enjoy trade talk. If any of the 3 trades that were suggested by New York Rangers fans is something that you would be on board with, let me know. If you liked the video, slap it around a little bit, and hey, I'll see you next time.